If you're a beginner improviser, I really don't think that learning songs or jazz standards is the best thing for you. And just wait, I know that goes against what so many people are saying right now, but hear me out. There's actually another approach you can take which will let you learn songs and standards more quickly, be more efficient with your practice time, and just speed up your progress. Songs are a cocktail of different phrases, chords, and rhythms. And trying to go straight into learning a song or a standard is kind of like trying to make a cocktail, but rather than vodka, you've only got potatoes. It'll probably take you just as long to learn all of the chords and all of the notes within them as it would for me to turn this potato into vodka. And that's before we've even started to think about the melody. What we need is a way to speed up this process. So rather than starting our cocktail with potatoes, we can go straight to the spirit. And luckily, a lot of standards and different songs use the same ingredients. The 2-5-1 progression, for example, is everywhere in jazz. But there are also a whole load of other common chord progressions that are really useful to know. And it's these ingredients, these really common chord progressions, that we want to practice, so that we get as comfortable as we can on them and we can play them to the best of our ability in as many different keys as possible. And this leads to really efficient practice. All of these common chord progressions are so short that whatever it is you're working on can be really targeted. Let's say you're just building up improvising on the chord tones or working on voice leading. Well, the constant repetition of the progression is going to lead to really quick progress. Or if there's a lick or a phrase that you're trying to work into your playing, you're not having to wait for the 1 or 2 moments that it fits into a jazz standard. You can force it in every few bars. And the same goes for any harmonic device. Let's say I was working on tritone substitution. Well, I could cycle around a 2-5-1 progression and force that tritone sub in every time I hit that 5 chord. And not only does practicing these common chord progressions, these ingredients within our cocktail, lead to really efficient practice and really quick progress, it also means that when we do want to play or learn a standard, we've already gathered and got to grips with all of our ingredients. Let's take the standard Swonderful, for example. The chords in the A section are 2 bars worth of E flat major 7, 2 bars of E diminished, 1 bar of F minor 7, 1 bar of B flat 7, 2 beats of E flat major 7, 2 beats of C minor 7, 2 beats of F minor 7, 2 beats of B flat 7, and then finally getting back to the start. And that's a hell of a lot of chords to remember. But if I think of the common chord progressions that I've already practiced, well, we still start with chord 1, before going to a weird flat 2 diminished. But then we've just got a 2-5-1, which itself is the start of a 1-6-2-5, which gets us back to the top. But hang on, that E diminished that we had, well, that's the notes E, G, B flat, and D flat. And that's kind of like a chord 6, right? Because chord 6 in this key would be a C minor 7. We're in the key of E flat, C is the 6th note, so we'd have C, E flat, G, and B flat. And chord 6 is quite often turned into a dominant, so we'd actually end up with C, E natural, G, B flat. And dominants often have a flat 9, which would be a D flat. So can you see that's really just a C dominant 7 with a flat 9? They just don't have the C in the bass. And if we think of it like that, well then actually this A section starts on chord 1, then 6, then 2 and 5, right? So we get a long 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, kind of a 6, 2, 5, before a really quick 1, 6, 2, 5, getting us back to the top. And the B section in this tune has loads of chords, but it's really just a 1, 6, 2, 5, then a 3, 6, 2, 5, both in the key of G, before cycling through the dominant chords to get us back to that E flat for the final A section. So instead of thinking of all of those chords going by really quickly, instead we just want to add our ingredients together so we have our cocktail of a standard. And because in practice we've worked on all of these ingredients, so we sound really good on all these common chord progressions, even if it's the very first time we've actually looked at a standard, it's still going to sound pretty good. And if you want to know how you can remember the standards you learn for years to come, check out this video next. Yeah, I know that the house building metaphor was better. I just really wanted an espresso martini.